everyone. Coach Sullivan here again with MGS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you, and non-subscribers, I'm hoping to tease you into pushing that button. This past fall, I completed my 38th year coaching football and as a defensive coordinator, but over that time, I've also been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. In this presentation, I want to talk to you about one of our payload games we call Flintstones. Okay, we use cartoon characters. Actually, in many cases, they turned out to be shows. Subscribers, you have to push that button. Okay, and so Flintstones being a payload game, it's also a two-penetrator payload game. Again, non-subscribers. So over here, I'm going to have key terms, excuse me, to help bring it to life. And then over here, I'm going to diagram that. And I don't mind telling you right now, subscribers, Flintstones is Tango, but on the opposite side. Okay, so like Flintstones, Fred worked in a quarry digging up rocks, right? Eating away at the strength, so to speak. Well, we're going opposite the strength in Flintstones, but it's Tango, as you'll see. Okay, so the first key term itself is Flintstones. It's a payload game, two penetrators, and here's the key. So obviously in install, we installed Tango and Flintstones in the same day. The Lucky Ringo is opposite the Rover at 11 and 21, right? So there's the Rover. See, now it's Lucky, right? Whereas Tango, it's to the Rover. Or it's opposite the Lizard Rip. So all the even groupings, 10, 12, 20, and 22, it's the weak side. Okay, it's opposite the Lizard Rip. Okay, so then from there, I'm still going to go through it as if, we haven't done Tango yet. So subscribers, I'm talking you non-subscribers, I really hope I'm teasing you into pushing that button. So the defensive end to the call, so Lucky, it's always the end. Okay, goes first, which makes him penetrator number one. In the two penetrator, number one is on the side of the loop. Okay, he is going to stick a gap to the call, picking the center with a bull rush. Okay, that's what he does. The nose, okay, number three here, he goes second because he's the looper. And so he's going to flash A away, and then he's going to loop behind the D end, and the designated blocker, that's why he's in red, is the guard. So the butt side rule for the nose on this one, same as Tango. He's A gap unless guards facing you, get into B gap. Okay, except now it's always to the call for him. The call of Lucky Ringo's made by inside linebackers. Okay, except now it's quote unquote to the weak side of the formation. Okay, and then now the defensive end opposite the call. So now it's be the stud is going to stab B gap. So he's going to get vertical, penetrate the gap because we're calling it when we're expecting pass. So he's threatening the pass protection and the quarterback launch point. And then he'll loop for outside cage versus pass. Now, as we go through it, he's got a chance to make the sack. He takes it. Okay? And so then the last key term applies to all three defensive linemen. You execute Flintstones first, then you react to run second. Okay? So all three will execute Flintstones first and react to run second. So if they happen to run the football as you're executing Flintstones, react to that. So that's what's meant by he obviously now would not loop for outside cage versus pass because it's not pass. Okay? So now over here, right, I'll go through penetrator number one. Oh, no, I'm sorry, my bad. Defensive end opposite the call is penetrator number two. Because remember, non-subscribers, payload games threatens B gap to B gap. Okay? So on snap of the football, stick is a two-gap move. He's got a bull rush the center, thereby picking the center. Okay? Nose is the looper. Flash A. So that's the head and shoulder. right? Sell it, head and shoulder. And now I'm going to do it in blue. Looping behind the sticking defensive end. He's A-gap unless, and so this would be why we would call Flintstones instead of Tango, right? If we felt as though by flashing A-gap, you're going to draw the attention of that guard, that will factor in when we get to the second penetrator here in a second, stabbing B-gap, okay? For the purposes of the presentation, it is a pass. Hard set, soft set, doesn't matter. If the guard's in B gap, right, that puts you in A. If he were double reading, so he was straight, puts you in A. But now, if we have that guard looking at you, that's when you get into B gap. So there are occasions when we notice both guards are checking A gap because of your nose. A lot of teams do not play the 3-4, so then when they play us, they're not used to having an odd front with the center covered all the time. Okay? So if we play in a team where both guards are checking the A gaps to help if needed, okay, this is the perfect time to run Flintstones to the weak side. So then now, penetrator number 2, stabbing, he's vertically penetrating, threatening upfield, right? Pass rush, upfield. Okay? If you get this, he has a chance potentially, okay, to make the sack himself, depending on what they do with the running back. Do they still insert the running back to the two-man surface? Then he's definitely got a chance to make the sack. But even if they insert a running back over here, the backs usually are taking you on at 3 or 4 yards on their side of the line of scrimmage. I mean, that's a win to us. That's a win. Okay, however, whatever's best that week, bull rushing, knocking him into the quarterback, you can make a move. The kid doesn't even try and make block. I mean, there aren't many good running backs in pass protection. The ones who are on TV. Okay, that's why we run the payload. Threaten the B gap, get some immediate pressure without having to blitz. But that is Flintstones, right? The weak side version of Tango. So as I said at the beginning, my subscribers, thank you. Non-subscribers, I hope I teased you into pushing that button. I'm trying. To everybody, please reach out to me at Coach MJ Sullivan at gmail.com. I'd love to talk football with you. I want to thank you for watching MJS Coaching Football, and I want to thank YouTube for providing this platform.